You've been staring at that front yard since January, telling yourself this is the year, and every week you drive past it, same sad patch of nothing, same broken promise to yourself. Well, April just showed up and it is done being patient with you. This is it. This is the window. And today I'm handing you 7 plants so ridiculously easy, so brutally forgiving that even someone who once killed a cactus is going to look like a professional landscaper by August. 7 easiest perennials for your front yard this April. Low effort, massive impact. Let's go. But before we get into it, real quick, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and tap the bell. We drop gardening content that actually saves you time, money, and embarrassment. And if today's video helps you out, a thumbs up costs you literally nothing and means everything to this channel. All right, now we're talking plants. Here is the truth nobody in the gardening world wants to say out loud. Most front yards don't fail because of bad soil or bad weather. They fail because people choose the wrong plants. Plants that demand constant babysitting, plants that throw a tantrum the moment you skip one watering, plants that need deadheading every 48 hours like a diva on a world tour. Every single plant on today's list does the opposite. They're built for the missed weekends, the forgotten waterings, the "I'll get to it next Saturday" energy that all of us operate on from time to time. Plant these in April, let the cool spring soil do the heavy lifting, and watch your front yard transform without you having to perform miracles. Let's count them down. Number 1, daylily. And before you roll your eyes and say, "Oh, daylilies, boring," I need you to hear me out because you are about to completely rethink this plant. Plant a daylily this April, and here is exactly what unfolds. The roots drop into cool, moist spring soil and anchor fast. By late spring, you've got a lush clump of arching, grass-like foliage filling in beautifully. Then, somewhere between late May and June, the flowerscapes start rising, loaded with buds, and the show begins. Now, here is the detail most people don't know. Each individual daylily flower lasts exactly 1 day. 1 day. That sounds like a deal breaker until you find out that each scape carries between 10 and 40 buds opening in perfect rolling succession, and an established clump throws multiple scapes simultaneously. The result is weeks of continuous, non-stop color from a plant you essentially ignored. Stack early, mid, and late season varieties together, and your daylily display runs from late May all the way through August. That is a 3-month front yard color window from one of the most hands-off plants on the planet. The color range is almost insulting in its generosity. Palest cream to deepest burgundy purple, with every shade of yellow, gold, orange, coral, red, pink, and lavender in between. Whatever color your house is painted, there is a daylily combination that makes it look like a professional designed your yard. April plantings establish fast in cool soil and often bloom meaningfully in their very first summer. Heat-tolerant, drought-tolerant, and genuinely indestructible once the roots are down. The one caution, skip the old orange daylily. It spreads like it has somewhere to be. Stick with modern named varieties, Stella d'Oro, Happy Returns, or Pardon Me. Compact, reblooming, and behaved. Full sun, minimum 6 hours. That part is non-negotiable. But okay, daylilies are great, we established that, but what if I told you the next plant on this list doesn't just survive your front yard, it actually gets better every single year you leave it alone? Stay with me. Number 2. Coneflower, Echinacea purpurea. This is a native North American wildflower that has been handling front yards across this continent for decades without complaint, and it earns every bit of the hype. Plant coneflower this April, and that thick, carrot-like taproot anchors into cool spring soil immediately. It drives deep fast, which is exactly why coneflower becomes so drought-tolerant so quickly. By mid-summer, the flower stems rise to 2 to 4 feet, and those iconic blooms open fully, bold, rosy purple petals fanning out around a dramatically raised, spiky orange-brown center cone. From the street, a mass of coneflowers in full bloom is one of the most visually arresting, genuinely welcoming front yard sights available to any homeowner. And modern breeding has expanded the palette without sacrificing the native toughness. White, yellow, orange, coral, and red varieties now exist, giving you design flexibility alongside all of coneflower's legendary reliability. Here is the detail that separates coneflower from most perennials. Each individual flower holds its fresh, fully petaled appearance for 2 to 3 weeks. That is far longer than most summer blooms, meaning your front yard bed always looks full, always looks in bloom across an 8 to 12-week season, and you never have to deadhead a single thing. Zero, none. Leave them alone. But here is where it gets genuinely exciting. Coneflower improves every single year. Year 1 establishes the root. Year 2 multiplies the stems. By year 3, one April planting is producing dozens of simultaneous blooms across weeks of spectacular color, and you didn't do anything. That's the whole point. Stick with the straight species or proven varieties like Magnus, White Swan, or Kim's Knee High for maximum reliability and the longest season, and leave those seed heads standing through winter. The goldfinches will find them, and you'll feel unreasonably good about yourself. One caution, skip the old orange roadside daylily. It spreads like it has somewhere to be. Stick with modern named varieties, Stella d'Oro, Happy Returns, or Pardon Me, compact, reblooming, and behaved. Full sun, minimum 6 hours. That part is non-negotiable. But okay, 2 plants down and your front yard is already looking better than your neighbor's, but the next one on this list is the plant that professional landscape designers keep reaching for over and over again. There's a reason for that, and we're about to get into it. Number 3. Catmint, Nepeta X Focinii. This is the plant landscape professionals specify consistently when the brief calls for beautiful, low-maintenance, long-season front yard color that requires absolutely zero drama. Plant catmint this April and it establishes quickly, forming that signature soft, billowing mound of aromatic gray-green foliage that looks effortlessly elegant from day one. By late spring, the first lavender-blue flower buds emerge and the show is on. That first flush blooms for 4 to 6 spectacular weeks. When it fades, cut the whole thing back by half. That's a 5-minute job with a pair of shears. A full second flowering rebounds within 3 weeks, equally dense and equally vibrant. In warmer climates, a third flush before frost is absolutely achievable. Total bloom potential with those simple cutbacks, May through October, a 5-month front yard color window from 5 minutes of effort spread across a summer. That soft lavender blue is one of the most universally flattering colors in the garden. It complements every house color and makes every surrounding plant look more beautiful. Put it next to roses, next to ornamental grasses, next to black-eyed Susans, it elevates everything around it. Drought-tolerant once established, strongly deer and rabbit resistant, hardy from Zone 3 through Zone 8, and no staking, no special feeding for years. One caution, do not skip the post-bloom cutback. If you leave catmint to its own devices after that first flush, it goes woody, sparse, and sad. 5 minutes of trimming unlocks months of additional bloom. That trade is not even a conversation. 3 plants in and we're just getting warmed up. Now I need to talk about the most award-winning front yard perennial in the world. And yes, I said the world because I meant it.
Number 4. Black-eyed Susan, Rudbeckia fulgida goldsturm. The name goldsturm translates from German as gold storm, and when an established planting of this plant hits full bloom, you will understand immediately why someone named it that. This is the most award-winning, most reliably spectacular front yard perennial in the world, and it earns that reputation by performing with almost offensive consistency year after year. Plant it this April, and the root system establishes in cool spring soil before summer heat arrives. Then from late July all the way through October, the golden yellow daisy flowers with their deep, velvety brown-black centers arrive in such staggering abundance that the foliage underneath completely disappears beneath the blooms. The entire plant becomes a continuous golden mass. From the street, from a car, from across the neighborhood, a planting of goldsturm in full bloom is unmistakable, unforgettable, and genuinely spectacular. No deadheading, no staking, no special care. The plant simply keeps producing fresh buds week after week until frost ends the show. Hardy from Zone 3 through Zone 9, tolerant of heat, drought, poor soil, clay, and urban conditions, it truly does not care about your excuses. One caution, divide every 3 to 4 years when the centers thin out, and watch for powdery mildew in humid climates by ensuring good air circulation between plants. Goldstorm down. Now let's talk structure, because the next plant on this list doesn't just bloom beautifully, it stands up tall and straight and makes your entire front yard look like it was designed by someone who actually knows what they're doing. Number 5. Ornamental salvia. Salvia nemorosa. If you've ever walked past a front yard in late May and found yourself stopping the car to stare, there's a strong chance ornamental salvia was involved. This is the perennial landscape designers specify more consistently than almost anything else when the brief calls for polished, structured, elegant front yard color with zero maintenance overhead. Planted this April, and it takes full advantage of cool spring soil, anchoring that root system deeply before summer heat arrives. A deeply anchored root system is the entire foundation of the drought tolerance and re-blooming performance that makes ornamental salvia so extraordinary in the months ahead. The first bloom arrives by late May, dense, upright spikes of intensely saturated color, rich violet purple, cobalt blue, warm rose, or pure white. The colors are so saturated, so clean, they seem to glow in direct sunlight. Caradona produces rich purple on dramatically dark, nearly black stems, an effect that looks almost architectural. Maynite delivers that iconic deep indigo violet that stops people mid-stride. East Friesland gives a proven classic violet blue trusted in front yards around the world for decades. Cut back by 1/3 after that first flush, and a full second bloom rebounds in 3 to 4 weeks, equally dense, equally vibrant. In warmer climates, a third flush before frost. Total potential season from 2 simple cutbacks, late May through October. Naturally tidy, upright growth with no staking ever needed. Deer-resistant, drought-tolerant, reliably hardy across a wide zone range. One hard caution: ornamental salvia is completely non-negotiable about full sun. In less than 6 hours of direct sunlight, the spikes become short, sparse, and architecturally pointless. The entire visual effect collapses. Count your sun hours honestly before you plant, and plant accordingly. 5 down, 2 to go. And here is where I'm going to change how you think about front yard design entirely. Because the next plant doesn't just bloom, it performs across all 4 seasons and becomes more beautiful as the year moves forward. Number 6. Sedum Autumn Joy. Hylotelephium spectabile. Most perennials give you a season. Sedum Autumn Joy gives you a year-round architectural presence, and that distinction makes it one of the most complete and most visually intelligent front yard choices on this entire list. Planted this April, and watch what happens from the very beginning. Those thick, succulent stems push confidently through the soil in early spring, building into a bold, sculptural clump of blue-green, fleshy leaves that looks handsome and substantial from the street long before a single flower has opened. Through summer, the dome-topped flower buds develop, first pale green, gradually blushing towards soft pink-white. Your neighbors will already be asking what that interesting plant is. Then in late summer and early fall, right when most other perennials wind down and your front yard starts looking tired, Autumn Joy hits its full glory. Those large, flat-topped flower heads open in rich rose pink, then deepen progressively through copper, bronze, and finally warm mahogany russet as autumn advances. It is one of the most beautiful seasonal color transitions available in any front yard plant, and it happens automatically without you doing a single thing. During that bloom, the wildlife spectacle is genuinely extraordinary. Butterflies, swallowtails, monarchs, painted ladies, they pile onto those flat-topped heads in September, fueling up for fall migration. A planting of Autumn Joy in full bloom on a warm afternoon can host dozens of butterflies simultaneously. That is a front yard moment your neighbors will actually come over to look at. An April planting looks handsome by midsummer and spectacular by early fall in its very first year, while simultaneously establishing the drought-tolerant root system that makes every subsequent season even better. One caution: avoid overly rich or moist soil, which causes flopping. The Chelsea chop, cutting stems back by 1/3 in late May, produces compact, self-supporting plants that hold their form perfectly through the entire season. Full sun required. 1 plant left, and I saved this one specifically for every gardener who has ever said, "I just don't have time for the garden." This last plant was designed by nature itself for exactly that kind of person. Number 7. Yarrow. Achillea millefolium. This plant's natural habitat is rocky hillsides, dry prairies, and sun-baked roadsides across the northern hemisphere, places where thin soil, scorching heat, and minimal rainfall are simply the conditions of existence, not temporary inconveniences. Plant yarrow in your front yard this April, and you are giving it conditions that are almost certainly better than its native home. The response is accordingly enthusiastic. Yarrow produces large, flat-topped flower clusters in vivid gold, bright yellow, hot coral, deep rose, rich red, soft salmon, and clean white, rising 18 to 36 inches tall above beautiful, feathery fern-like foliage that looks handsome even when the plant isn't blooming. Deadhead the spent flower heads, and Yarrow pushes a second and third flush of color through the summer without missing a beat. Even in the gaps between flushes, that fine, ferny texture bridges and softens the visual transitions between plants with an effortless, naturalistic grace that makes your entire front border look more richly, more intentionally designed. The single most important thing I can tell you about Yarrow, it thrives on the very conditions that challenge every other plant on this list. Heat that cooks other perennials, Yarrow shrugs. Drought that stresses most roots, Yarrow has never heard of it. Poor soil that humbles high-maintenance plants, Yarrow's home turf. For the busy gardener who cannot always give the garden full attention, and let's be honest, that is most of us, Yarrow is the single most forgiving, most consistently rewarding choice on today's entire list. Two cautions. Monitor its spread in fertile soil, because Yarrow can advance aggressively and crowd out its neighbors over time. Divide every 2 to 3 years, and remove spent heads promptly if you want to limit self-seeding. One absolute rule. Full sun always. Yarrow in shade flops, fades, and becomes a completely different and disappointing plant. And there it is, 7 plants, 7 front yard transformations waiting to happen this April. Daylily, Coneflower, Catmint, Black-Eyed Susan, Ornamental Salvia, Sedum Autumn Joy, and Yarrow. 7 perennials built specifically for real gardeners with real lives who still want a front yard that turns heads every time someone drives past. That's a wrap on today's video. If this gave you the confidence and the roadmap to finally do something with that front yard this April, do me one favor right now and hit the thumbs up button. It takes 1 second and it helps this channel reach more gardeners who are ready to make this their best season yet. Not yet subscribed? Hit subscribe and tap the bell so you never miss a video from us. We will see you in the next one. Now stop watching and go get those plants in the ground.